Okay, let's have a quick look at channel viewership from the USA, because in recent weeks I've done a lot of channel stat videos looking at the health of the channel, the growth of the channel, where people are viewing from, and how the channel's developing and growing. The US has always stuck out to me. It has always stuck out to me. And so overall, the US makes up 4.4% of all channel views all time have come from the US. Now, breaking down the percentage of US views into each individual state is a lot more interesting. The average view duration from the US is 1 minute 55 seconds, which is significantly lower than other countries, although higher than some others. So it does vary from where you are in the world. The US comes in at 1 minute 55 seconds for average view duration. Now, when it comes to the breaking down of the percentage of US views, not everyone in the US has put down their states. There'll be people who are in the US but haven't put down the state they're watching from. Out of those that have, 21 states have enough data to be on the list. So, without any further ado, let's have a look at what people are viewing from. So, in 21st place is Tennessee with 0.1% of all US views at 10 seconds average view duration. People aren't interested in Tennessee. Virginia, 20th, 0.1% of all US views are from Virginia, 18 seconds average view duration. New Jersey at 19th, 0.1% of US views, 11 seconds average view duration. Massachusetts, 0.1% of US views, 12 seconds average view duration. Georgia, 0.1% of US views, 13 seconds of average view duration. So these states aren't really interested. These are people flicking through YouTube. They flick through, watch a few seconds, keep flicking, and they're going through content, trying to find something they like. They're having a quick peek. They're not interested. They're moving on. Missouri, however, is very interesting. So Missouri has 0.1% of US views, but an average view duration of 2 minutes 32 seconds. So whoever's watching from Missouri, a handful of people, they're very interested in my content and they enjoy what they're watching, which I find very interesting with Missouri. I was a bit surprised with that one. The average view duration really surprises me, but whoever's watching from Missouri clearly likes what we do. So Missouri's an interesting one. I have to look at pro sports teams from Missouri, give them a bit of a reward. I would have thought, because I've done a lot of the major league content, but I haven't done any content on teams from Missouri. So we could have a look at pro sports teams in the state of Missouri. Maryland, 1.1% of US views from Maryland and 13 seconds average view duration, so they're not interested in Maryland. Illinois is a bit of a surprise considering the city of Chicago is in Illinois. 0.1% of US views are from Illinois, 12 seconds average view time. Bit surprised with that one because of the city of Chicago, big metro area, obviously. A lot of pro sports teams in Chicago, so I'm a bit surprised with that one. Arizona, 0.1% of US viewers are from Arizona. 1 minute 31 seconds average view time. View duration. A little bit less than Missouri in regard, about a minute less than Missouri when it comes to average view duration. But again, there are people from Arizona who do watch the channel. They like the content. They engage when I do major league content or certain sports teams, I would have thought. So Arizona and Missouri, outliers in the bottom half of this list, and Missouri being above average view duration. So Missouri, I have to look at what's going on there, because that's really interesting, and when they're watching videos and what videos they watched at what time and what sports they're interested in. Pennsylvania, again, I'm really surprised by the viewership from Pennsylvania. Only 0.1% of US views are from Pennsylvania, 13 seconds average view duration. Ohio, 0.2% of US views, 9 seconds average view duration. So, apart from Arizona and Missouri, anyone in the bottom half, they're not really interested in what content we're making. It's the top half, the top 10, is where things get really interesting, because North Carolina comes in at 0.2% of US views, 1 minute 18 seconds of average view duration. So below average, but not massively below average. Michigan, 0.2%, 1 minute 19 seconds average view duration. So again, not bad, bit below average for average view duration, but we're starting to get views here. We're starting to get engagement with people from these states. The state of Washington, 0.6% of US views is from the state of Washington, which is interesting. 1 minute 18 seconds average view duration. So again, a little bit below average, not massively below average, but we are getting some solid views from these states. Nevada, massive jump in average view duration and a jump in views. 0.7% of viewers in the US are from Nevada. 2 minutes 31 seconds average view duration. So massive jump in view duration there. They're obviously big followers of the channel, and those that do follow from Nevada watch a lot of my content. New York is a big surprise, being outside the top 5. Comes in at 6th. 0.8% of US views are from the state of New York, but the average view duration is very solid, 3 minutes and 5 seconds. So they're well above average. In fact, they actually bring the average view duration up, as does Missouri. They bring the average view duration up. Really solid figures from New York, but surprised that they're not higher on the list of viewership in regards to US states. Hawaii is a real big surprise to me at 0.9% of all US views are from Hawaii. 1 minute 30 seconds average view duration. Hawaii's always done well on the channel, always done well. Always strong viewership from Hawaii. I find that really interesting because of how far separated it is from the rest of the US and the lack of major league presence in Hawaii. But Hawaii always does really, really well. But it is a tourist destination. It's got a big military presence, so a lot of military personnel circulate through Hawaii, both US and other NATO personnel. So that one for me, while it is surprising that it's high on the list, it doesn't surprise me that I get good viewership from Hawaii. Texas coming in at 4th. 1% of all US views are from Texas. 1 minute 10 seconds average view duration. So similar to North Carolina, Michigan and Washington, it drops down a little bit with average view duration, but a lot more views from the state of Texas. Florida does quite well in 3rd. 1.1% of views from the US are from Florida, and again it pulling up that average view duration at 2 minutes 25 seconds. So the average view duration climbs again, and that brings up the overall average for the US. Utah, 1.3% of all US viewers are from the state of Utah. 1 minute 27 seconds of average view duration. So a little bit below average, but the view counts from Utah have always been strong. I find that surprising because Utah, other than Salt Lake City and the metro there, doesn't have a lot of people in the state of Utah, apart from around the Salt Lake City metro. California is where there's a massive jump in the percentage of US views. 7.6% of all viewers from the US are in the state of California. The average view duration is higher than Utah, higher than Texas, higher than Hawaii, but below New York, Nevada, Missouri, and Florida at 1 minute 32 seconds. So California always had solid view counts, really always had solid amounts of views from California. It dominates the US in regards to viewership, which I find very interesting considering that New York is so far down. Notable states that haven't made the list: Colorado, Oregon, South Carolina. These are quite populated states that have big metros that haven't made the list. Really surprised by Colorado and South Carolina, for example, with some of their big metros and pro sports teams that play there. So there's some very noticeable states that haven't made the list. Louisiana with New Orleans, with the Pelicans and the Saints, for example. That one really surprises me. There's even interest in moving the NHL to New Orleans, getting a team in the NHL in New Orleans, which is really surprising that Louisiana not on this list. Alaska not on this list, considering that they play a lot of ice hockey in Alaska, but small population. So some states haven't made the list at all. Other states have obviously done very, very well. So there we go. That's a quick look at the channel viewership from the US. It's always interested me. Viewership from the US has been steady in recent months. It did drop off significantly, but it's been steady in recent months. It's been steady the last 2-3 months. In fact, it's climbed slightly. And then I'm going to have to look at Canada. Canada's really interesting because the viewership from Canada is really not where I want it to be, and not where I expect it to be. but is also recently climbing again. So we'll see how that continues. But for me, for now, thank you very much for watching. If you are from the US, what state are you watching from? Because some states haven't made this list. Some of these average view durations, like Missouri, for example, really stand out as well above average. Missouri, really interesting. Florida's really interesting. New York and Nevada, also quite interesting as being above average. But Missouri is a real outlier there. Not a lot of views from Missouri. When people watch from Missouri, they really watch the content. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. It's given me some video ideas of looking at pro sports teams in each individual state. That'll be interesting. But from me for now, thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts in the comments section below. I want to know what state in the US you are watching from, if you are a US viewer. But from me for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll have some more content for all you guys and girls very, very soon.